Good afternoon. The October 28th meeting of the Longview Metropolitan Planning Organization is now called to order. Today's meeting is being conducted via teleconference. We thank you for your understanding. We'll have a roll call. The format of the meeting will begin today with a roll call to confirm members of the board are present and able to participate in our considerations. Board members, when I call your name, would you please respond with the affirmative if you are present? White Oak Mayor Kyle Cooch.
Present.
Harris County Commissioner Philip Malden.
Present.
TxDOT Tyler Director of Transportation Vernon Webb.
Present.
TxDOT Atlanta District Engineer Buddy Williams.
Mr. Williams does not appear to be logged on at this time.
Okay. City Manager Keith Bonds.
Here.
Public Works Director Roland McPhee.
Here.
Development Services Director Michael Shirley.
Present.
And City Staff and Ms. Ingrid Self.
Present.
Very good. I would like to take a moment to congratulate Vernon Webb, who is the new TxDOT Tyler District Engineer. He replaces Glenn Green, who is now the Executive Director of the NET MRA. Congratulations to both gentlemen. Welcome, Vernon, and thank you for your service on the board, Mr. Green.
Thank you, sir.
We're now to citizen comment. Mr. Jackson, do we have any citizens requesting to speak during citizen comment?
Mayor, we do have one person who's in the meeting. They didn't indicate they wish to speak. If they wish to, now's the correct time to raise your hand to show that you want to speak. And Mayor, they're not raising their hand, so I think you're good to go.
Very good. We'll go on to our meetings, our minutes. Approval of June 10th, 2020 meeting minutes. Board members, if there are any comments or revisions to the meetings, please let me know. If not, I will entertain a motion.
Roland McPhee, I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
Early second.
We have a motion and a second. We will now have a roll call vote. Mayor Cooch.
Approved.
Commissioner Malden.
Aye.
Mr. Webb.
Approved.
Mr. Williams. He's not here with us. Mr. Bonds.
Approve.
Mr. McPhee.
Yes.
Mr. Shirley.
Approve.
And I vote yes as well. Ms. Self, would you please confirm the record of the vote?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Roland McPhee made the motion to approve, and forgive me, I missed the second. Oh, Michael Shirley made the second. Minutes were approved by unanimous vote.
Thank you. Now to agenda item 4, approval of the Longview Transit's Public Transportation Agency's safety plan targets. Ms. Self.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Today we are presenting Longview Transit safety targets for adoption. As you see here, the MPO adopts targets in 5 different performance measure categories. 3 of these categories are under the supervision of the Federal Highway Administration, shown on this slide in blue, and 2 are under the Federal Transit Administration, as shown in gray. Today we are discussing and presenting for adoption the FDA safety targets. In 2016, in compliance with MAP 21 and the FAST Act, FDA rolled out a public transportation safety program that adopted the Safety Management System approach, or SMS, as the foundation for developing and implementing safety programs. SMS helps organizations improve their safety performance by integrating and harmonizing the various elements of a plan so that they all work together to manage safety risks throughout all aspects of an agency's operations. Safety has always been a priority for Longview Transit, but in their new plan, they have incorporated SMS principles into several areas, including moving from an approach that emphasizes rules and procedures to one that identifies risks and exposures, moving to a collaborative, trust-oriented program, and shifting from a reactive approach to a proactive approach where accidents are concerned. Longview Transit Safety Plan was adopted by City Council in May and certified by TxDOT. It includes 7 steps to set targets in 7 different areas related to transit safety. This table shows a breakdown of the safety targets that were developed in collaboration with TxDOT and that were included in the Transit Safety Plan. Those 7 categories consist of the number of fatalities, injuries, and safety incidents, as well as the rate of each, and system reliability. The 5-year average of safety incidents is very low for both fixed route buses and demand response. As a starting place, Longview Transit has set annual targets in line with the 2019 baseline, as shown on the slide, acknowledging that the implementation of SMS is an ongoing process and that the plan is a working document that will be reviewed every year with modifications made as needed. The technical committee has reviewed and recommends approval of the 7 safety target areas. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Ms. Self, from the board? If not, may I have a motion?
Move to approve. This is Roland McPhee.
Is there a second?
This is Vernon Webb. I'll second.
Thank you. A motion and a second has been made. We'll have a roll call vote. Please say yes or no. Mayor Cooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Malden, Commissioner Malden,
Commissioner Malden is here. He appears to be self-muted. I would also note Commissioner Williams has joined the meeting. Buddy Williams has joined the meeting.
okay,
But Philip Malden seems to be self-muted at this time.
okay. I'll come back to Mr. Malden, give you a chance to unmute yourself. Mr. Webb,
Approved.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Bonds,
Yes.
Mr. McPhee,
Yes.
Mr. Shirley,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Mr. Malden, are you back with us?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Self, would you please confirm record of the vote?
Yes, Roland McPhee made the first. Vernon Webb offered the second. The vote was 10-0 to approve the safety targets.
Thank you. Now to agenda item 5, approval of modification of the FY 2021 Unified Planning Work Program. Ms. Self.
Thank you. In preparation for the next fiscal year, MPO staff has updated the funding estimate for transportation planning funds based on current funding authorizations from TxDOT and carryover from the previous fiscal year. This modified estimate allows us to program an additional $71,000 into our current work program. MPO staff recommends programming this amount into Task 5, Special Studies, to support hiring a consultant to conduct a corridor study for East Loop 281. The study will provide us with short and long-term recommendations that will enhance circulation and traffic flow efficiencies, improve safety, improve bike and ped accommodations, and enhance the movement of people and goods. The technical committee recommended approval of this modification. I'd be happy to answer any questions from the board.
Any questions of Ms. Self? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
This is
Kyle
Philip Malden.
Cooch.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Kyle Cooch, I'll second.
Thank you. A motion and a second. We'll have a roll call vote. Please say yes or no. Mayor Cooch,
Yes.
Mr. Malden,
Yes.
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Bonds,
Yes.
Mr. McPhee,
Yes.
Mr. Shirley.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Ms. Self, please confirm the record of the vote.
May I have the name of the person that made the motion, please?
Philip Malden.
Thank you, Mr. Malden. All right, Philip Malden made the motion to approve. Mayor Cooch seconded the motion. Vote was approved 10-0 in favor.
Thank you. We're now to agenda item 6, approval of modification of the FY 21-24 Transportation Improvement Program. Ms. Self.
Thank you, Mayor. As you recall, the 2021-2024 TIP was adopted by this board on June 10th of this year. In the months following that adoption, however, MPO staff was informed that the statewide TIP was over-programmed by several $1 billion in highway projects, and we were instructed to remove projects from our TIP in order to remain fiscally constrained. In reviewing the UTP, TxDOT's 10-year planning team also discovered that the funding had been front-loaded in their plan, further supporting the idea that shuffling the let dates would better balance the 10-year program. While the funding for some of the projects may be delayed, they are not moving outside that 10-year window. So in coordination with TxDOT, the MPO proposes moving the following projects outside of the TIP's 4-year construction window. First, phase 1 and 2 of George Ritchie with a modified let date of year 2025. If funding becomes available sooner, the project will go to construction. Secondly, the major interchange project along Interstate 20, also with a modified let date of year 2025. In this case, the delay might actually follow the natural progression of project development, as it includes an extensive amount of coordination with the railroad. And lastly, 3 phases of US 271 and Loop 485 glade water improvements have modified let dates. The South project extends between the Smith County line and Loop 485, will let in 2023 rather than 2022. And 2 North project extends, the North Loop of 485 and US 271 up to the Upshur County line, will let in 2026 rather than 2024. The technical committee recommended approval of this modification to the TIP. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Any questions of Ms. Self? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
This is Vernon Webb. I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
This is Roland McPhee. I'll second.
Thank you. We'll have a roll call vote. Mayor Cooch,
Yes.
Mr. Malden,
Yes.
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Bonds,
Yes.
Mr. McPhee,
Yes.
Mr. Shirley.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Ms. Self, please record the vote, please.
Vernon Webb made the motion to approve. Roland McPhee seconded the motion. The item was approved by a vote to 10-0.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate the presentation on this, Ms. Self. I hate that we're having to delay some of these projects, but that's obviously out of our hands. Hopefully things might change in the near future and things may be able to brought back online a little bit sooner than we had anticipated. And hopefully that will come to fruition. But for now, I really appreciate everybody's patience in this meeting in the format. I know it's difficult when you can't see each other, and you all conduct yourselves very well, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you to city staff for putting this together once again. So if there's nothing else, so we will be adjourned.